Has your family ever bothered you over baby names? When my wife Emma and I found out we were having our first baby, we were over the moon. We spent weeks picking the perfect name, Oliver James. It felt right. Strong but not too trendy. Classic but not boring. We told everyone at my mom's birthday dinner when Emma was 4 months along. My older brother Jake just nodded and said, "Cool choice," while bouncing his 2-year-old on his lap. His wife Casey smiled and congratulated us. Everything seemed normal. 2 months later, Jake called with big news. Casey was pregnant again. We were excited. Our kids would be close in age, maybe even best friends growing up. At Emma's baby shower, Casey was showing off her little bump to all the aunts. Someone asked if they'd picked names yet. Casey got this weird smile and said, "Well, if it's a boy, we're thinking Oliver James." The room went dead quiet. Emma's fork clattered onto her plate. I felt my face get hot. "That's our name," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "We announced it months ago." Jake shrugged. "It's a family name, bro. Grandpa Oliver, remember? We have just as much right to use it." That was complete bullshit. Our grandpa went by Ollie, and his middle name was Robert, not James. Jake was just making stuff up. Emma started crying right there at her own baby shower. My mom tried to smooth things over, saying there could be 2 Olivers in the family, but Emma whispered to me that she couldn't handle having our special name stolen. That night, I was furious. I'd always been the little brother who got Jake's hand-me-downs, but this was our baby's name, our one thing. Then I remembered something from college. My roommate had switched majors using some obscure policy buried in the student handbook that nobody ever read. Maybe there was something similar here. I spent 3 hours digging through old family documents my mom had given us for genealogy stuff. Birth certificates, marriage licenses, the works. Then I found it, a handwritten family tree from 1987 that my great-aunt had made. Right there, in her careful cursive, it showed our great-great-grandfather's full name, Oliver James Patterson. Not just Oliver, but Oliver James. The exact combination we'd chosen. I took a photo and sent it to Jake with a text. "Found this in the family papers. Looks like Oliver James actually is a family name. Since Emma and I announced it first and we're having our baby first, I think tradition says we get it." Jake tried to argue, but I could tell he was scrambling. He called me 20 minutes later, clearly having Googled family naming traditions. "Fine," he said, "but if Casey has a boy, we're using just Oliver." "Whatever," I replied, "as long as it's not Oliver James." Emma gave birth 3 weeks early. Our son came into the world as Oliver James, and he was perfect. When Jake and Casey visited us in the hospital, Jake actually seemed happy for us. He held Oliver and said he looked just like our grandpa. 2 months later, Casey had her baby, a healthy boy. They named him Oliver. At first, I felt bad. Maybe I'd been too aggressive about the whole thing. But then, at the first family gathering with both babies, something amazing happened. My mom was holding both babies and got confused. "Which Oliver is which?" she asked, laughing. Casey looked annoyed. "This is just Oliver," she said, gesturing to her son. "That's Oliver James." From that day on, everyone called our son by his full name to avoid confusion. Oliver James became his identity, while Jake's son was just Oliver. Our boy got the special, distinguished name that set him apart. 5 years later, at Oliver's first day of kindergarten, the teacher called roll. "Oliver Patterson?" Jake's son raised his hand. "Oliver James Patterson?" Our son stood up proudly. Even the teacher seemed to notice the difference. "Oh, how nice. Oliver James. That's such a strong, complete name." Jake shot me a look across the classroom, but I just smiled. Sometimes being the little brother means you have to fight a little harder for what's yours.